All right, I think we're live. Maybe now. Hi, I think we're live. Yeah, this is great. Welcome to Free Tips and Hacks. This, yeah, go Zoom, go Facebook, all the things. Rules always changing. Anyway, hi everybody. I'm Jenny Nowak. I'm a speech pathologist of over 34 years and a behavior analyst with over 17 years, serving children, families, adults, all across the board who need support in ways they behave. And for the last 12 years, I've supervised trainees working towards their certification, many of them remotely, through out of the box, not usually autism based ABA, learning to ABA everything and audit everything as you go so that you can be the best consultant out there that you can be. And you guys joined this group, so yay. And I believe it's because you're trying to find the right ABA supervisor for you, not just somebody to sign your forms, but somebody who will actually help you become competent and confident. And I want you to know that I really get this. Supervision is hard. It will stretch you both clinically and personally. So, my job, your supervisor's job, is to hold some really high standards for you while modeling compassionate, trauma-informed support because you deserve both. So, something that I hear a lot in this supervision trainee world is, I worked so hard at university. I'm glad that all I have left are these hours. Well, that mindset there, that's where I see trainees unintentionally sabotaging themselves because university can be pretty structured. University tells you when your assignments are due, what chapters to read, sometimes even how to study, what to earn, what to do to earn the points, right? The rubric. Supervision typically doesn't spoon feed you in the same way, and that shift can really catch people off guard. So my coaching for you today is to really think about whether you're prepared to put the same amount of time, emotion for sure, energy, and even financial seriousness into supervision that you put into your coursework. Man, you invested hours studying, doing the projects, writing the papers. Gosh, the tuition, hello, the stress. Yes, the blood, sweat, and tears. So why would you make the applied part of this BCBA journey the part that shapes your identity, your skill set as a clinician? Why would you treat that as secondary or just a have to or even an afterthought? So, again, back to why this matters is because supervision is where you learn clinical judgment. You learn decision making, oftentimes under pressure. You learn how to defend all of those beautiful recommendations that you learn to give and make in university. The rubber's going to meet the road here. This is where you learn documentation on real people that survives real audits. This is where you learn how to think and act as a behavior analyst, not just define terms and pass quizzes. Yeah, university gave you those book smarts and you've got to have them. But supervision is going to give you those applied smarts. Supervision is what determines client outcomes, your reputation, your confidence level, right? No imposter syndrome here. You should not survive supervision and still have imposter syndrome. Another post for another day. Send me a DM. We'll have coffee. Right? I got mine right here. Supervision will help prepare you for that exam readiness through applied applications, that is applied applications of all of our techniques, our strategies, that whole test content outline. And supervision is going to determine your audit safety. So I see two really big struggle areas when trainees come into supervision. And I want to talk about those here for a minute because when you're looking for a good supervisor, you should run yourself through some of these questions and see if you struggle in these areas and ask some good questions to find out how your supervisor will help you in these areas. So, trainees struggle in supervision due to number one, lack of structure. I see the posts all the time. How do you? How do you? How do you? And you get these really helpful answers of page 16 in the handbook. Okay, yes, that's true. Yes, you should have that handbook practically memorized until they change it on you every 3 to 6 months and don't tell you. Again, another post for another time. But supervision really should teach you how to structure your world. So I see trainees struggle when there's not clearly organized hours tracking. Maybe there's broad organization, restricted, unrestricted, but in tracking your unrestricted activities, is there structure in assessment, program design, monitoring others, collecting and analyzing data? Let's find that organization because you need that structure when you become the supervisor. I see lack of structure in there being no system or, gosh, even no philosophy for those unrestricted tasks. You should be doing, I believe, 90% unrestricted tasks using private events, radical behaviorism to take those direct hands-on things that you do every day and think as the consultant to swap those into the unrestricted side. I see lack of structure showing up in that last minute panic before an individual or a group session and is my work done? I see lack of structure showing up in I didn't really know what to prepare to come to group or to come to one-on-one sessions. And again, this is not a character flaw. This is usually a structure of supervision problem. When you have good structure, it reduces that cognitive load. It reduces that stress level. Good tools really can do the heavy lifting for you in supervision. So your brain can focus on really doing that detective work. What's working? What's not working? How do I help them do better, faster, easier? That is the joy of ABA. Sorry, let's get that do not disturb happening. So that was number one. I see lack of structure building huge amounts of stress in supervision. But another thing that I see that causes struggle in supervision is perfectionism that you guys bring with you. High school, get all A's. College, keep those transcripts high so that you maintain those, what's the money stuff? Those, shoot, scholarships. There you go. Have another sip of coffee. Compliance-based, 100%, gotta do, be well all the time. And that perfectionism can come out of fear of losing scholarships, fear of not being on the honor roll, fear of disapproval by family, friends. So what does that look like? Well, first of all, it's the have to get 100% on everything. It's the overstudying and focusing on sometimes the wrong things. It's sometimes avoiding doing the draft, the run through, just because of that fear of, oh my gosh, what if I do it wrong? Guys, if I had to be perfect doing these lives, I would never do them. It can look like cramming, right? Getting that assignment done at 2 o'clock in the morning the night before a one-on-one session or a group session. That's really that compliance-based motivation. I think supervision is a great place to help you shift from perfectionism, from fear-based, from I have to be 100% all the time, to the why behind that, to the values-based motivation, because this also helps your clients. This helps the mom who can't do 100% data collection for you see Wow, I want my kiddo to be the best. I want my time here to be most functional. So if I can grab 5 data points for Jenny when she shows up, then my session goes better. So let's shift to some values-based motivation instead of that compliance-based motivation. So here's an example. I have a value of serving other people, right? Serving others. And because I want to serve well, I schedule these lives in my Facebook group, hopefully weekly, especially from here on out, trying to get a little better focused for you guys. It's not compliance based, it's not a have to. It's a because I want to. So I show up differently so that I can serve you well. I value family time. And because I value family time with my spouse, maybe your partner, we plan 2-hour growth blocks together weekly. Now, he may be working on his stuff for work. I may be working on things for supervision or our premarital coaching program that we run. It doesn't matter what we work on. What matters is that we get to do it together. And so I show up for those work blocks, those growth blocks differently because it serves my value of family time and it's not compliance based of I have to check off that 2-hour block. I do have a value of being competent. And because I have a value of being competent, I build consistency, not intensity. Perfectionism may feel productive to you guys because it's what you're used to. But like I said, it could be fear disguised as discipline. And man, sustainable growth beats panicked productivity every time. And it turns compliance that I have to into the value of I get to. Boy, and that helps relieve stress every time. So pursue values in supervision. So let's see where this really applies to you. Are you treating supervision like a checkbox or professional formation, if you will? If your supervisor disappeared tomorrow, and believe me, they have, would your systems for supervision hold? Are you motivated by fear of falling behind or by values of service and excellence? So here's an action step for you. Take a look at that weekly calendar. Does supervision time show up intentionally or only when you're stressed and you have to because it's due tomorrow? Guys, if it's not scheduled, it's not really a priority. If it's not showing up as a priority, it's not really a value. So maybe this might not be your best season to pursue those fieldwork hours. Guys, your supervision experience will lay the foundation for the rest of your professional career. So don't skip. And for goodness sakes, don't quit. Don't mentally downgrade this phase. You'll be glad when you are invested fully in your supervision experience. And if you need some more support, some more direction, some more challenges for values-based instead of compliance-based, this group exists for you. So give me a comment. Tell me where you feel stuck. Tell me what you think about your structure, what you want your structure and supervision to be. Tell me your thoughts, your struggles, your successes on time management. My gosh, talk to me about perfectionism. Do you need some help switching from that fear compliance to faith, fun, and values-based motivation that helps you really want to show up every day, every week, every month for your clients, for supervision, for this thing that we call ABA? Do you have audit anxiety? Do you think there's some app out there that's building that for you, but maybe you're not really sure? Let me know. I want to talk to you about these things. Guys, because strong supervision isn't accidental, it is built. One intentional, one well-designed solution at a time to build better analysts, better clinicians, better lives. And that's what we do at Plus One Solutions. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've joined me for this live. I'm glad that I'm going to get to see your comments and your thoughts below. And let's continue this conversation as we keep going. Welcome to Free Tips and Hacks. Welcome to Plus One Solutions, Remote ABA Supervision.